Hi, I'm Tonja Taylor, and I'm going to share 7 secrets of successful speakers with you today. First is prepare. Prepare, of course, your content. Choose something that you enjoy talking about, because when you enjoy what you're talking about, you're going to be animated, enthusiastic, energetic, and confident. And that's what audiences want to see in a speaker, that and have good information. So choose what you're going to talk about carefully and make sure you have good references, good content, and prepare your voice. Not just your content, but prepare your voice. One good way to do that is to record your voice, and especially record a video of yourself so you can see and hear how you really look and sound. You may be surprised, hopefully delightfully so. If not, you'll see some things that you can work on and improve before you give your speech. So remember, we all start the same place. The next thing is to prepare your materials. These can be props, if you're going to do a demonstration, or even if you just have a little toy, say you're doing a demonstration for a child or children, or even an adult group that teaches children, something like that. You want to have toys, books, props, things that are going to illustrate your sermon with a tangible effect. This can also include handouts. I'm a teacher and I like to share information, so I use handouts in a lot of my presentations. And another secret about handouts is the people can be looking at the handout instead of looking at you, if you don't really like people looking at you. But again, that's something you need to get over if you're going to be presenting to people. So preparing also includes technology. It's a good idea to go at least a few hours ahead of time, if not the day before, to make sure that the technology you need is available in working order, that it's going to be there that day in that place when you need it, or that you can have someone arrange it for you. If you need to have tables and chairs in place for your audience, then you need to make sure of that too. So the first point is preparing ourselves, our voice, and our content. The second part is technology, handouts, and props. The third point is to wear confidence, wear energy, wear a smile, wear something that makes you feel like $1,000,000. The last thing you want to do is get in front of an audience and then have some part of your clothing fall off or open or scratch you or irritate you and distract you. You don't want to be distracted while you are delivering this phenomenal message to your appreciative audience. So those are 3 points. Prepare yourself, your voice, your content. Then prepare your technology, your props, and your handouts, and tables and chairs, meaning furniture. So whatever you would need to have the proper setting for your presentation. And then to have what you wear really have a good effect. You want to wear something you feel comfortable in. You want to wear something that you feel good in. You want to come out on stage or wherever you are in front of the audience with confidence and energy, enthusiasm, a smile. You want them to know that you're glad to be there and you have something good to give them. Sometimes audiences have to be convinced of that, and sometimes, and here's another tip, I'll throw this in for free, that it doesn't matter how good your content is or how good your speaking is or your appearance or the atmosphere. Some people are just going to sit there and look grumpy or mad or sad or distracted. But another secret is don't be concerned with their faces. I think that's a motto that goes way back somewhere. There have been phenomenal cases of people that have said that there were audience members that just glared at them or looked really disturbed or something, and they thought, oh no, I'm doing a terrible job and they hate me. They're going to throw rotten tomatoes or something like that. But first of all, that really never happens anymore. Second of all, some of these people have come up to these speakers and said, "That was so great, you changed my life, thank you." So you can't really tell. Don't judge. Just relax and have fun giving your very important, very entertaining information. So The next point is, before you leave the house, or preferably at the site where you're going to speak, drink some warm water, or sing, or do silly things, even, you know, la 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 la. There's a reason singers do that. It's to warm up the vocal cords. And yes, it looks and sounds silly. But if you don't want to do any of those things, you can chew gum. You can, according to some people, eat Lay's potato chips. I haven't tried that, so I'm not sure. But hey, if you like potato chips, it's the way to go. The salt, I think, must help the throat somehow. But you can at least drink some warm water. Maybe there's a microwave around. You can just zap a little bit of warm water, or bring some yourself. The point, don't drink cold water. Drink at least room temperature water. Now, you probably noticed a couple of times I have had a little hiccup in my speaking. But did I stop and go, oh no, I hope that didn't distract you? I'm doing it right now on purpose. But another secret is, if you mess up, just keep going. Nobody really cares. Even if they care at that moment, they're going to forget it the next moment, because you're going to mesmerize them with your fantastic content and your sparkling personality, right? So, it's also good to be able to laugh at yourself. If something really weird happens, like the technology spazzes out, or the electricity goes out, or some intruder bursts in and interrupts, or something like that, or even if you just drop your paper or knock your water over, just laugh and go on. We're all humans. You may have some aliens in the crowd, but hopefully they'll be appreciative and not a disturbance. So just go on. Don't make a big deal about it. If you stop and make a big deal and go, oh no, then that's going to distract the whole audience, and you may even forget where you are. So just take it in stride. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just keep going. Keep on going. So the next point is, if you don't like looking people in the eye, if that makes you feel uncomfortable, and sometimes it makes people feel uncomfortable when we're looking at them, especially if we're the speaker, we're the leader, we have the authority in the room at the moment when we're speaking, when we have the floor, as I taught my fourth graders. They know, I got the floor means I've got the authority to speak, you're quiet. So, if you have the floor and you don't like looking in people's eyes directly, and maybe they don't like looking in yours, then what you can do is what I'm doing right now. You can look directly over their heads, and it looks like you're looking at them, especially if you're smiling and you're animated, but you're not. So that breaks that stare that can be really uncomfortable. So you look right over their heads, and they think you're looking right at them. Now, speaking of looking at people, another thing you really need to do is to, especially if you, unless you have people sitting right in front of you and none others in the room, then you need to make a point to include everyone. That means you need to scan the room with your gaze. You need to act like, and in truth, be speaking to the whole room, not just the people right in front of you. Whether you're teaching in a public school classroom, as I have, or you're speaking to a large audience of thousands, or whether you're online. Online, really, we have to stay focused on the camera, but you want to include everyone. I remember sitting in audiences of different kinds and thinking, why doesn't the speaker ever look over here? So that's a distraction. See, we don't want our audience to be distracted in any way if we can help it. Now, people have a free will, and they may be chewing gum, drinking water, talking to each other. You just have to ignore that so you're not distracted. Okay? So there are many things involved in successful public speaking. These are some tips I've learned myself through the years and that I've learned from others, so you're getting the benefit. Another thing is, when you start speaking often, those little butterflies, those nerves, they kick in. They're right there at the beginning, because we have sometimes this fear like, oh no, people are going to think I'm terrible. That's rarely the case, and even if they do, really, who cares, right? Because there's many more people that are glad it's you up there and not them. They're just excited. They're relaxing in their chair. They don't have to do anything but listen, and they can check out mentally if they want to. And to tell you the truth, after a few minutes, even a few seconds maybe, Some of them do. They're not even thinking about you. They may act like they're looking at you, but they are not. They're just there. Now, hopefully they'll tune back in. Hopefully your content and your personality are so sparkling that they're mesmerized. Hopefully they'll catch every word. But it's already been proven that most people don't remember most of what they hear. So we have to hear things again and again to get it. I like to take notes as well. So if you see people writing or even on their phones, don't let it be a distraction. Just try to think of it positively as, oh, they're recording what I'm saying because they want to remember it and take it to heart. See? You pat yourself on the back mentally that way. So what I was going to say about the point of when your mouth starts to feel dry because of the nerves, even as I'm giving this speech, I'm excited. It's a little bit, you know, it happens to just about every speaker, no matter how long we've been speaking. A little bit of butterfly things going on, and a little bit of dry mouth trying to start. So what you do is you take your tongue and you put it behind, you put it down to the bottom of your mouth behind your teeth, and you can get a little bit of moisture there that helps lubricate your throat, because you not always can you stop and take a drink of water. Now usually that's accepted. People, you know, it's not a distraction. Sometimes the speaker even says, I'm going to take a sip of water, and they do, and they go on. So it's pretty common. But if you can't, or you don't have any water, or you forgot and you don't want to interrupt your own speech by going, can you make me some water, which is not a good idea, then just do that with your tongue. That gives you a little more moisture, and you can keep going and speaking more fluidly. We want to speak mellifluously, which means smoothly, fluidly, very pleasantly. So, one other final tip, besides another freebie I'm going to throw in. So you're getting some solid tips and then some lagniappe, which means the delight factor, which is always a good idea in speech, to give them what you've got and throw in some extra, maybe a surprise or a joke or something at the beginning or the end that they didn't think would be included. That's a nice surprise, a delightful, positive thing. So the last main tip, the last main secret is, if you forget what you were going to say, or if there is a huge interruption for some reason, maybe you are recording online, or you have a live audience online and your darling granddaughter or son breaks in the room shouting or something, or the dog barks, or just ignore it, or you can make a humorous comment about it. But if you forget where you are, then just turn back, take a deep breath, smile, and you can talk a little slower while you're trying to get your brain to catch up and remember what you were going to talk about. Now you may have seen my eyes go down a little bit. That's because right under the camera, here's another secret, this is lagniappe, I have my main points listed in big red marker letters so I can go in order with what I wanted to tell you, since I didn't take time to memorize it. It's best to memorize what you're going to say and to rehearse it and practice it several times. And the more you know it, the easier it flows out of you. But if you don't have time, then make notes. But the last thing you want to do is read your notes. Don't ever take pages up there and read to an audience. They can read themselves, and they don't want to be read to. Not unless you're doing a literary thing where that's accepted and expected. So, lagniappe, more delight factor is if you are a speaker that has products and a website and all this good stuff, and you want people to stay in touch with you and hopefully hire you and maybe do all kinds of wonderful things for you and get to know you, whatever, then you can have your products and your information sheet and have those as handouts at the end. That's like an extra, like a delight factor for them, for your audience. That way, it's another way, it's a tangible way to remember you. So you can have them set up, as many professional speakers do, at the beginning, so the people in your audience can browse and buy, hopefully. If you're not a professional speaker but you're trying to get started, then you can make business cards and just ask at the end if anyone wants them. You don't even have to have a business card. You can have a flyer, something simple, just with your information on it. Or you can tell them the information. Some people will write it down. It's better to have a hard copy to send with them. So those are actually several secrets of professional public speaking. And I want to commend you on your journey. You can do this. Remember, there's a lot more people scared of doing this, and this is like the #1 fear for some reason. It's been listed many times. It's a #1 fear that people have, is speaking in front of others. So if I can do it, you can do it. Go forth and conquer.